What's going on, YouTube? John here for my long overdue video update. Figured no time like the present, especially since this tank this is probably the last time you'll see these guys in this tank. Bonnie and Clyde, one of our least problematic pairs of fish. I gotta pull these fry out. These guys have been in here entirely too long, but I've been kind of stalling because we got the new tank that's going to be coming. It's going to be set up right in the spot. All these tanks will go. This sump will actually go, and this tank will either go away or it's going to go in the stand of the new tank that we got coming. These guys will most likely move over here into this 125. This is 125, but it's a 5-footer. They'll move into the 6-footer over there, give it a little bit more space. But these are our least problematic pair. I've only had to divide them once after the first spawn. This is their second spawn, and these guys have been doing good together. They're relatively easy on each other, especially with frying the tank. These guys are getting kind of big at this point, so it's about time to pull them out, which is good timing with the tank coming not this Monday but next Monday. So yeah, this will be the last time you'll see them in here, and we'll get them all sorted out. But yeah, these guys have been a pleasure to have. Got this female from Mike Man a while back, and got lucky enough to pair her out with this this male that I got from Gage. And yeah, they've been a really cool pair. Had a lot of fun having these guys. Move on over here to the next tank, which we have two different things going on in this tank. We have a male small spot, which we've had for a while. Of course, he's going to sit here in the shadow where you're not going to be able to see him too well. And there is a female in here as well. I'm not sure if she's going to come out right now. She's probably in one of these PVC fittings. I got the female from a buddy of mine and a member of the group, member of both the CFC group and the aquatic support group, Chris Fogg. They've actually taken a liking to each other. They typically spend, there she is, she's starting to come out now. They spend a good bit of time together. Of course not now since the camera's out, but between the big spots and these guys, I've just got a herd of males, so hoping that we get a little bit of activity between this guy and the female. But other than that, we have the Umbi group in here, which these guys pretty much pay little attention to each other, which works out pretty good. This one is one of the biggest ones of the group. It's going to be kind of tough picking. These are Magnus and Beast Fry that we've had growing out for a while. I believe I have 15 left. I started out with 25 and we whittled the group down a bit. But these guys are going to be cool. These guys are all moving into the new 11-footer. So I'm expecting to have serious growth spurt once these guys hit some space. But it's going to be tough to pick. This guy right here's got some nice freckling going on, and it's been awesome kind of watching these guys grow out. I call them fry, and I mean this guy's probably 5.5 inches long. But they've been growing good. I mean, some of the smaller ones, we've got them ranging everywhere from 1.5 inches, 2 inches, all the way on up. But there are a handful of standouts in this group, and it's going to be real tough to pick. But I figure in 11 feet of space, I can kind of let them go in there and kind of work it out for a while. So looking forward to that for sure. And I'll only be keeping probably, I'm guessing, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 or 4. So these guys will be moving on everything that I don't need at some point in time. Yeah, there's the female right there. Down below, we have, this is kind of a temporary setup. We've been moving stuff around. Obviously you can see why it's a temporary setup. The largest Festi and the Islanum have been sorting it out. The female is right down here. She's brutal. She's far and away the most aggressive fish I've ever kept. And all the males in here have been kind of vying for her attention. So, but other than that, we got some Festi grow outs in here. We've got a couple of red sea bulls. We have a small rivulatus, and all these guys will be separated soon because you can see they're all getting kind of shredded. And that's her that's doing the majority of the damage. she runs the show. That's the biggest male of the two, and I'm not sure if it's pairing activity or whatever, but she takes, I mean, she really doesn't care. She beats on everybody in this tank. So she was the last fish added to the tank, and I'll just go ahead and say it's pretty much her tank. Got a small trimac over here that actually has been in recovery from his grow out, or her grow out tank. So, and you can see one of our L75s. We got two L75s in here as well. But this tank is all going to be pretty much given to the Islanum. I'm going to let them kind of sort it out. You can see one male, that's the subdominant, and then we have the dominant male over here. But she's brutal on any and all fish in this tank. Super, super cool fish, but at her size, I haven't had any fish nearly as aggressive as her. So I'm sure that'll change once the umbies get a little bit bigger. But this whole tank will be all sorted out and everyone will be moving around sooner than later. Go over here to the next tank. We have our Ribulatus pair, which I'm pretty sure we've got you can see he's blasted up pretty good, which is usually what happens after she spawns. We got eggs. He always takes the plant and sticks it over in front of this piece of PVC. She will not lay in this pot no matter what we do. She keeps laying eggs in the PVC pipe, which is pretty difficult for him to get in and fertilize all the eggs. And you can see she just runs him around when there's free swimmers or eggs in the tank. She's a little blasted up from pre-spawn, and he is starting to get that way now that she's kind of commanding the show here. But these guys are doing pretty good. Back spawning again. They hadn't spawned for a while because I had some nanos in here and a couple other small fish, and I think they were just distracted. So they're the only two that are in the tank now, and I'm guessing within the next 3 or 4 days we'll probably have some free swimmers. She's super protective over that back corner of the tank. And super, super cool fish though. Down here we have two RTM grow outs from the first spawn from Bonnie and Clyde. And then let's see if we can get these guys to come over this way. We got a couple Amarillos. 4 Amarillos I got from a buddy of mine here locally. Bill hooked me up on my birthday. He had a small group of them. I've never kept Amarillos before, but I've always wanted to, so we've got a small little group here that we're growing out, and hopefully we get, you know, maybe a pair. If not, we'll get a nice solo wet pet. Antelopes are always cool, either whether they're paired or not, so it might be a lot of fun just to keep them on even if I don't get the pair. But I'll probably be moving some of the smaller fish from the Islanum tank over into this one. Give these guys a few more guys to kind of put in the herd and chase around, since there's only the 6 fish in here. Move over here to this next 40 breeder. We have the nanos, which you can see we have the dominant female here, and she is an absolutely beautiful fish. We got the subdominant female right next to her, and then the bigger of the 2 males that we have. There's another male right over here. These guys are really, really super small, but when I got these nanos, they were sold as a pair, and they are a pair of females. So that wasn't going to work out, wasn't going to do us any good. So we figured between the 2 females and the 2 males, hopefully we'll get 1 pair, and then we'll move the other ones on down the way. I haven't seen any real serious spawning activity other than the fact that she just shows dominant coloration pretty much all the time. I mean, she just runs the show. But super, super cool fish. In the tank up here, we have our smallest big spot, which is a cool fish. This one seems to get pretty aggressive with anything sort of related, so it's a good fit for the other 3 trimacs that we got growing up. These are Raps trimacs. This is the biggest of the group, the punk, which this guy runs around a good bit, especially around when he thinks it's time to eat. You can see one of the other smaller ones here, and then the smallest one is probably right here in this piece of wood. But once the smallest one catches up a little bit in size and the fins heal up a little bit, I'll probably put it back in here and let the 4 of them kind of sort it out. But these guys have grown ridiculously fast. These were really small fish when I first got them. But yeah, these guys are doing good. Over here we have the lion's eye pair, which are divided. at this point, only because he's an absolute pump no matter who's in the tank, whether it be tank mates, solo, whatever. She's healed up a pretty good bit, but she's still got a couple knots on her fins, and you can see she's a little shredded up around the edges, but he wears her out. I mean, absolutely wears her out. She usually knocks the divider down. I got it really pinned in here pretty good now. But we got eggs, then we got free swimmers, and we lost them all within about 3 or 4 days. So I didn't pull them out, we just lost them out of the blue. Still trying to unlock the combination of these guys, because like I said, he's just brutal on her no matter what's in the tank or whether they're solo or not. So I may try some smaller bottom dwellers, maybe some loaches like Mike does. Cichlids worked, but they didn't spawn, and then as soon as I pulled them out, they looked like they wanted to spawn, and then he just went to wailing on her. So to let her heal up and kind of get back to 100%, I figured, sorry about the glare, I figured I'd put the divider in here and just kind of hit the pause button for a little bit. But super cool pair. Down here underneath, we have one of my favorite grow out tanks, even though there's not a whole lot to see. Just tons of cover, some wood. You can see a couple of them back here, but we actually have 6 F1 ornatum. I was lucky enough to get my hands on these when they came to one of our local farms, actually Mike's cichlids. And he got his hands on some. They were pretty small when we first got them, and these guys are super shy, like to hide a lot. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how these turn out, since there's not many of them in the hobby. We've got 4 wilds inside, and then we've got the 6 out here that, you know, we keep this tank relatively cold, relatively traffic free, and we're just kind of letting them grow and letting them sort it out. Other than that, we have Bowser and Gaia. She has absolutely zero interest in spawning with him for whatever reason. He seems to want to spawn constantly. He lights her up a pretty good bit. She's actually, well, she looks pretty good right now, but typically she's usually shredded up on her fins a little bit when he decides he wants to spawn and she doesn't want to have anything to do with him. So other than that, we have 3 cutter-eye. Actually, I take that back. I'm sorry, 4 cutter-eye. The other female, 3 are out right now. The other one's probably down here under the rock laying eggs, which is typical. And then we have our 1 lone escondido. We had a group of 6, and these guys beat each other to a pulp. And by the time I pulled them out, a couple of them were just too far gone. So that's pretty much all we got going on. This is a relatively easygoing, laid-back tank. You know, she and him spend most of their time together. Other than when she thinks it's feeding time, she goes and runs for cover, because he's an absolute nightmare when there's food. Other than that, he gets along with everybody. I mean, he doesn't mind tank mates. He doesn't, you know, he does a little chasing, like I said, around feeding time. But other than that, he could care less about the rest of these fish. So super cool pair. I say that loosely because we have a male and a female, but they have yet to spawn, so can't really call them an official pair. But I'm hopeful, and I got a lot of patience. We'll go back inside here, and I'll show you what we got going on in the office, which the office was actually a pleasant surprise. We have moved Scarlet in here. She's been in here for a couple of weeks, and you can see we've got a small batch of fry. Nothing super huge or anything, but I had Scarlet and this new male that we acquired maybe about 2-3 months ago. We had them out in the garage growing out for a good bit. We have them divided because as soon as Fry went to free swimmers, he just went berserk and started lip locking her again, and he's just not big enough really to hold his own. She'll kill him. So for his best interest, we put the divider back in, and it's nice to see her all colored up back in her guarding dress again, because she's such a beautiful fish. But yeah, we've got I'm guessing maybe 100, 150 free swimmers in here. Not a super huge spawn, but a spawn nonetheless. And she's got great parental skills, so the fry typically stay over here with her. In the mornings, I'll see half the batch over there with him, and then the rest of them over here. But they always migrate down here with her towards this piece of wood, and they're doing good. It's nice to see her spawn again. I have no idea what they're going to turn out like, because this is the first, but we'll grow some out and we'll see what's up, and hopefully we can do this a little more often. She had almost a year off from spawning, so it was good to see her back in the game a bit. Down underneath in the sump, we have the last of the 4 Benai. We had a group. The large male that we lost not long ago for some weird reason died out of the blue, and this is the I don't even know if it's a male or a female, but this is the one that we've got left. Not super disappointed about not being able to spawn them, because there's not a huge demand for these guys down here, and I'd hate to go through all the trouble of dividing, trying to avoid the bloat and all that good stuff. So this may end up just being a wet pet. Super cool fish. She or he, which is very difficult to tell at this point. If the camera wasn't up here, I swear, this fish chases its tail just like a dog. The only fish that I have that does it, and it's pretty comical. But yeah, this one's doing pretty good. Eats veggie krill like it's going out of style. Super slow growing, but cool fish nonetheless. And then we'll move from here on to the big tank, which what we've got going on in the big tank right now is a combination grow outs for the ornatum and some festi. We've also got 3 singles. We got the big norisati here. We have our Cynospilium over here, and then we have Melman, who's our biggest and most laid-back, easygoing big spot. But this male over here has actually only been in the tank for 2 days now, and we're starting to see the right colors between this female and him. We have another one further on down the other side of the tank that she has no interest in whatsoever. But yeah, I got this male not that long ago from Chris Fogg as well, when I picked up the small spot. And he colored up, and you know, we look like we may have at least some interest. I mean, she hasn't shown this kind of dress around the other male or around any of the ornatums, so I'm thinking that that's a good sign 2 days in. It was kind of the same thing that happened with Scarlet when she first paired off with Triton and when she paired off with Aries. So, but that's pretty much all we got going on over here. Mostly grow out, and like I said, we're just trying to see if we can get some pairing. Let me get this light real quick so y'all can see a little bit better. He's a beautiful male, and she's seems to have taken some interest into him at least. You know, they spend a lot of time together, and the dress looks good. Other than that, we've got the ornatum. This is the biggest one of the group. These guys are hyper aggressive on each other. They beat each other to a pulp. Way worse than any festi that I've ever experienced, at least this far. I know they're supposed to be related and they're supposed to be similar temperament, but as these guys get bigger, they don't really pick on any other fish, but boy, do they blast on each other. This is one of the other festi we have in here, the one that she has zero interest in. You can see she's going to go ahead and bow up and show off a little bit, showing off for the new male. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on here. Like I said, special thanks to Chris Fox for hooking me up with this male. He sent me a picture, asked if I had any interest, and he's just got really, really cool finnage and some beautiful coloring. And you know, to be a relatively small fish, he's I'm looking at some potential out of this guy for sure. So thanks for stopping by. I'll do a video update sooner than later. I know it's long overdue. Next one I'll do a feeding video. I've actually got all these guys switched over to Southern Delight. This tank eats a combination of veggie krill and the power feed with a little bit of large cichlid mixed in for the norisati and the big spot over here. But yeah, we'll do that next time, and it will be much sooner than later. So thanks a lot, YouTube. See you soon.